So you want to know how to make a portable granite ledge? Well, of course you do, because I have one and I love it. Anyways, how did I get this ledge and how did I make it? I got that question a lot when you guys first saw it in one of my videos. So, first off, I'm a carpenter. So when we go into a unit and we're getting ready to do demolition, well, sometimes there's countertops that need to be removed and gotten rid of too. And in this case, I saw this piece of granite and my first question was, are we keeping the countertops? My second question was, are they going to the dump? And once I had those answers, I knew immediately that was my ledge. So this particular piece is about 92 inches long, and I think it's about 18 inches wide. So the first thing you need to do is figure out how are you gonna acquire a piece of marble? Well, you could look on Craigslist, Kijiji, all those sorts of places to look for used countertops. Free is obviously the best price, but you might not have that luxury like I did. The next thing you're gonna need is a strong back and maybe even a couple friends with strong backs. Also, having some good old-fashioned know-how helps. If you're not handy in construction at all, this may be kind of a difficult task for you. But that didn't stop the skaters in the 80s from building ramps now, did it? Okay, so let's take a look at this piece of granite. I'm gonna slide it out of here. This part is not a fun or an easy job. And I would also say to anyone who keeps one of these in their vehicle, maybe don't drive around with it in there all the time because, I mean, honestly, do this at your own risk. Like, what could happen in a collision with this 200-pound piece of marble in there? I don't know. Anyways. I'm pulling it uphill right now. Okay. So now that I have it out of here, you may be able to see that it's got a 2x4 on the bottom. It's actually a 2x12 and a 2x4. I'm gonna flip it over and we'll take another look. So, as you can see, 2x12, 2x4, they're screwed together right there. You can see all the glue coming out. You can see the glue on the side, and then it separated a bit and I had to use a bit of spray foam. Next, let's take a look at the marble. Note how you can see there's a line right here going down it. So what that is there's actually two layers. So you've got a top solid piece, and then you've got this piece, which is about a band about this wide, that runs all the way around it, so that you can't see it from the bottom. But then there's actually wood inside here. So wood this thickness, 3/4 of an inch, on the inside of a countertop. So the fact that there's this band of wood inside here is actually a good thing because it makes it a lot lighter. Like, this thing is really heavy. Also, the other good thing about that was originally I didn't have this glued on here, and I thought, well, I'll just risk it and I'll have 3 supports. So I had 3 supports, and I think that actually caused it to crack because it was a little bit uneven. So fortunately, because there was that wood in there, this thing held together even though it had a crack right down the middle, which I'll show you in a minute. So then I realized I had to do what my original thought was, which was glue it to a solid piece of wood. So now that it's got this 2x12 and 2x4 glued on, and I used 3 tubes of PL Premium. I actually used the Fast Grab, not this stuff. The Fast Grab bridges big gaps even better because it's really thick, whereas this stuff is a tiny bit thinner, although it's still intended for bridging big gaps. But what I did, and I wish I had a video of it, was I put the 2x12 on the ground, and it was cut to be just a tiny bit shorter than the length of this. I put it on the ground and I unloaded 3 tubes of this stuff onto that 2x12. And I just gently plunked it down and rested it into position. I even clamped it a bit, but I think because I had it flat on the ground, I think some of the moisture in the ground and maybe in the wood itself made it warp a tiny bit. So what happened was there was a little bit of a gap along one end, and that's when I spray foamed it. So here is the crack, and right here I put some epoxy in it to kind of hold it together. I still haven't epoxied this side yet, so you can see it's kind of spalling out. But yeah, there's a crack right through it. To rest it on, I just cut up a 4x4, and I've got these just screwed together, so it's 6 of them. So I can have it like this, and it's sort of a low ledge. I can have it like this, and it's like a perfect 14-inch ledge. And then I even have a set of these that's just 1 high if I want to do some other tricks. So first off, here's a little session of me skating this thing in the underground. And what I love about this is it's not like I have to do hard tricks all the time. I can just work on refining my tricks. So it's also super fun to skate when it's low, just one level. I was working on a bunch of my blunt slides. Anyways, let's drag this thing out of here. This isn't working out, guys. I usually do it better than this, but the camera is giving me some, you know, that thing, camera shyness. There we go. All right, time to skate. There's an annoying remote-controlled car in the distance, if that's what you guys can hear. Okay, excuse me.
Oh,
Hi. I'm normally a pretty reasonable person, but I honestly want to shoot my board out of that thing and obliterate it. This is a skateboard park, eh? Like super annoying. Pretty sure I ate it because I just yelled at them. Some instant karma. They went away though. Such a bully. Just had to tell some other kid not to fly his drone in here. Does anybody actually like do anything real anymore? Or should we just strap on the VR helmets and all turn into blobs like in WALL-E? You know what a drone sounds like, especially those little ones? An army of angry mosquitoes. Well, that's enough of that. I can spend all evening trying to impress you guys with getting more tricks and getting them cleaner. You know what? It is actually Christmas Eve here right now, so on that note, I better get going home. But I hope this at least sparks some ideas as to how you can make your own portable ledge, how you can get one. Just remember, be safe with how you carry it, be safe with how you transport it. You got to keep that in mind. Don't keep it in your vehicle all the time. But one thing I would say is having this has been really good for my skating, because I don't always want to do this because it is hard on the back and you know it's a lot to wrangle that thing out of the van, but it is worth it because this winter I'm actually able to keep up and maybe even improve on my ledge game. And that's the first time I've been able to do something like that in like decades. Winters are always the time where you just like you slack off and you lose your skills. for those of us that live in cold, wet, or wintry climates. But this is really enabling me to stay on top of that, so that's nice. So I've got another idea. I'm gonna build something else soon, but I'm keeping that a secret. You guys will just have to tune in to find out what that is. Well, as always guys, thanks for watching, and may your next session be your best session yet. Get out there and build something. Do something with your life. Do something real. Don't be a horde of mosquitoes or an obnoxious little motor cruising around here that made me hurt myself because I yelled at them. It's all their fault. God forbid I look at my own actions and how they affect others. That wouldn't be very cool of me. Why am I still talking? And why are you still watching? Worst ending ever. I swear this is worth it, you guys. It is. Yes! I won't be able to skate for 3 days, but at least I learned some new tricks.